Tami, come around the camera and join us, will you? Tami Gunden, sometimes known as Tami Cherie, or Tami Cherie Gunden, from later years. Can you hook that on right there? It's so good to have you with us.
Thanks, it's good to be here.
It's been a long time. Many wounds, take a long time. This album is how old now?
Well, I did that about 2.5 years ago. It was released about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
Almost 2 years now.
It's called Celebration, and it's Light Records, so it's a quality label. Those are nice people. And it's available still. I heard you're working on a new one.
Yeah, I am.
Tell me about it.
Well, I just recently signed with Home Sweet Home Records, which is distributed by Word. And I'm in the process of writing some material for it, and really right now in the beginning stages of getting the right material, the right songs. And for me, that is probably the key most important part of making an album, because oh, definitely, because if the songs that I'm singing are not necessarily from my heart or what I feel like the Lord is wanting to say through me at this point in my life, you know, I might as well not even go in the studio and record.
Does the album have a theme? Do you aim for a theme, or do you just put songs together as you feel it?
Well, it's good to aim for a theme, I think, in a sense. I think at this point in my life, the Lord is, what I really feel a burden to share with people is really a call to commitment for young people, a commitment to really fulfill what Christ has called them to be. I remember my teenage years when I was, 14, 15 years old. That was the time of my life where I was probably the most lonely. Oh, definitely. I can remember laying in bed at night and just, weeping, praying for a friend, praying that the Lord would send me a friend. And funny enough, the Lord didn't answer my prayer necessarily the way I thought he would. He didn't send all these incredibly wonderful friends to surround me. But Jesus began to become a really good friend to me. And in those few years, the Lord really molded me and shaped me. And so I really want to encourage young people to allow the Lord to use the time in their life to prepare them for what He's meant them to be. A lot of kids get out of high school, they get out of college, and they're disillusioned. They don't know what am I supposed to be, God? Well, the reason why is because they haven't spent the quality time with the Lord. They haven't gotten to know the Lord. They haven't allowed Him to really become a part of their life. They don't know what God's will is for their life. And they're frustrated. And so I want to encourage them to find out.
That's neat.
What the Lord's will is for them.
You're a beautiful lady with all this great talent, and you were still alone, and that says something to me that maybe we misunderstand. Maybe there's some people that need our caring and our love and our concern that we don't reach out to because we figure they got it all together, they got it handled.
Oh, I think that was I traveled a lot and sang when I was younger, because I was on TV, and I think for the first time when I was 12 or 13, I'm not sure.
Right next door in the other studio.
The kids that I went to school with, they put me on a pedestal, or else they made fun of me. They thought I was really weird for singing, And it was difficult for me. It really was. But I wouldn't go back and change it. A lot of people say, well, did you miss a lot? Well, probably I missed a lot, but for me, I didn't know what I was missing at the time, and I just figured that this was the Lord's way of teaching me and grooming me and preparing me to do His will,
Had you not had that quiet time with Him then, maybe you wouldn't have the success that you have today.
Well, I wouldn't, definitely. Definitely wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I think that's the case for all of us. God is preparing us for our future.
He's got something planned. Everything doesn't just happen. Martin Lefebvre, headlining for one of the biggest musical groups in the country. I mean, they're outstanding and they're well known. What does that mean to your career? What does that mean to you personally?
Personally, I feel like this is just a wonderful opportunity for me to learn. Mylon, I have the highest regard for him and his ministry. I feel like if I can be of any support to his ministry, I will, because I know so many people who have had life-changing experiences through what he's doing, and myself, things that he has said and things that he has done for me and said to me. I've had a lot of questions about different things. He has been such a big help to me personally. I feel like the Lord has allowed me this opportunity to learn, really, honestly, to learn. I'm learning a lot, and man, I'm thankful for it. And also, it's a lot of fun. I mean, they're such a wonderful group of guys to work with, and there's such a sincerity and a realness, and then just a joy. You know, they're just a lot of fun to be around. They're goof-offs. They have a blast.
What's it like, the concerts? They have some pretty big concerts planned and some pretty crazy kinds of things happening. What's the feeling of going up before a group like that? Well, it's a different crowd than you're used to, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and our music is quite a lot different. But there initially is a lot of nervousness. But, you know, Milan is a big, we always have prayer time before we go on stage, and even sometimes short Bible study. And then on occasion, Milan has come just like 3 minutes before they announce my name. He'll come and just take my hand and pray with me real quick. And I think one of the neatest things he's prayed is, Lord, let her have a good time out there, you know, and when he prays that, it's like my tension is all relieved, you know.
That's great. How long has the tour been going so far?
I started with them last week on Thursday.
Okay, and how many cities, or where are you going, or how long will you be going?
I'm going to be with them for about 5 dates yet, up through the Northwest, up through Washington State and Oregon.
Really?
It's pretty, it's so neat. It's really exciting. Plus, you know, it's so good to be a part of a ministry where you're actually seeing people's lives affected. You know, the other night in Phoenix, after the concert, there was probably 35, 40 people came back to a prayer room, you know, wanted counseling and prayer. A lot of them really committed their lives to the Lord for the first time. I was able to sit in a circle with 5 young girls, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, and just share different practical things and pray with them, you know, and they shared some of their problems in school and stuff. It's so neat. I mean,
it's ministry.
Oh,
I think some people miss this because you came from a church background, fundamental church background kind of thing, right? There are a lot of people who have waved their finger and said, all these rock kids and these concerts, you know, can it really be of God and all this kind of thing. And you changed the flavor of your music. It used to be, oh, this cute little Tami Gunden, and now it's become a very mature sound, and of course you have a variety of music that you do. Are you taking any flack from people who say, hey, you know, is this really, are you compromising with the world? Or that
I mean, I hear a lot of things. I haven't taken too much flack at this point. There's a lot of people that don't understand what we're doing, and there's a lot of people who don't understand what is happening in the world around. They're out of touch with the reality of what young people are going through, okay? And I think there's a lot of people who don't see the need to reach out to these people, or maybe they do, but they don't understand that it's not necessarily going to be effective reaching out in their traditional way. I mean, Jesus broke so many traditions when he was here on earth. You know, he ate with the sinners. I mean, he talked with the harlots, you know, all that kind of thing. And he received more flack from the religious people than anyone else. And we're, in a sense, doing our best to fulfill God's call in our life, which is just basically to make disciples and preach the gospel. And music is one way we can do that.
What about your future? What are the plans for Tami? Get a new album coming, of course.
Yeah.
What are the kinds of things?
Well, I'll be doing a couple more videos when the album comes out.
Good.
I'm working with a band on the East Coast now, full-time. They aren't with me on this tour because it's real difficult to have 2 band setups for a situation like this. But, so that's coming together, and I'm learning to write. No, seriously, my brother and I are working on a lot of songs and stuff.
Now, you've written a bunch of stuff, right?
I've written a few songs, yeah.
Did you write some on this?
Not on that album.
Okay.
My brother and I wrote a song that's going to be released this month on Home Sweet Home. It's for a Christmas album.
Great.
And so that's kind of neat, because it's so good. It's like I'm learning to communicate things that are in my heart, which I always had a hard time doing, but now I'm actually being able to communicate it on paper, you know, and through music, which is, for me, real exciting.
It's got to be neat to see it on paper and know that other people are listening to it and singing it, and singing your song.
And you know what we found out? The songs that we've written ourselves, generally when we do them, perform them live, those are the songs that people appreciate the most. And it's probably because I can sing them with even more feeling. You know what I mean? It's like a part of me.
That's neat.